Welcome to the 57th episode of ML Backstage. My name is Mars Luna,
And I'm Ethan.
and we're introducing this podcast straight from the sixth dimension. This is a music commentary podcast hosted by just Joshua Luna today. Holo Kahiki Tovez and Kainalu Kumai won't be joining because of schedule conflicts. They were literally messing around on their group chat today. Anyway, we're going to talk about my last EP, Coda. This is a sentimental one, folks. This might be the last episode ever. I'm sad now. Earthlings, grab your popcorn and let's get started. Back to planet Earth we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 57 of the ML Backstage podcast. My name is Joshua Luna, and normally I am joined here by my best friends, Holokiki Tobez and Kainalu Kamai. And if you're new to this podcast, we talk about the behind the scenes and all of the backstories of my musical project and alter ego known as Mars Luna. We've been at this since 2016. Well, Mars Luna's been at it since 2016. Been going through this podcast for a couple of years now. But yeah, just kind of it's kind of serves as serves as a time capsule of everything that that went down with every Mars Luna single, EP, album, all that kind of stuff. And I am currently in beautiful Hawaii at my grandma's house in California. You know what I'm saying? For this episode. And yeah, my grandma's actually in the other room sleeping right now. Shout out to her one time. Um, Polo is in Georgia, so he's about 5 hours or so ahead. Yeah, I would say 5 hours ahead right now, or four. I don't know what time zone they're in from Hawaii, but so right now it's about 7, 8 or 8 o'clock in Georgia right now. So, and it's 3 o'clock. So it's it's kind of late over there right now. Shout out to him because his birthday is coming up next week on Christmas Eve. Today is December 17th. Uh, Happy birthday, happy early birthday to the Tahitian Mac Daddy. You know what I'm saying? And Kainalu is actually on a date right now. So he has more important information yeah, more important things to take care of right now. Um, a little flustered because I realize that I'm recording with the sun in front of my face, but it's all good. Um, but yeah, today's podcast is unofficially sponsored by uh, Fitted Hawaii. I'm saying because I copped a bucket hat today in honor of the Chinatown Social Club 1 year anniversary and the Mana'o company hat. You know what I'm saying? They did a collab uh, with Fitted Hawaii, legendary OG local band here in Hawaii. So they got the Aloha Fitted Hawaii branding in the front, and if you reverse it, you know what I'm saying? We got the Mana'o company logo in the front. You know what I'm saying? Limited edition, in store only. Glad I was able to cop that while I was here, while I'm still here. It's my little souvenir for this trip. And I'm also, uh, this episode is also sponsored by, unofficially, by Celsius. This month's flavor is watermelon lemonade. I don't know if this flavor has already been the sponsor for this pod, but uh, every episode is uh is represented by a Celsius flavor. If you're looking for essential energy, um, for some quick pre-workout, Celsius is your drink for you. Accelerates metabolism, burns body fat. Um, yeah, it's a clean energy drink for the most part. Um, Go pick one up at your local grocery store or supermarket. That's where I got this flavor. There was the only one left in there, so Shout out to the local supermarket, Casey Market, right down the street. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Celsius. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for being part of this with me. Um, I normally do one episode a month, so forgive me if I'm a little flustered, but yeah, let's get this thing going. Today is the last ML Backstage podcast episode of the year and possibly the last ML Backstage episode, period. Because this is the very last Mars Luna project that we're covering today. We are covering the Mars Luna EP Coda, and Coda is in layman's terms, it means the end. It's done. It's the end of a musical structure or arrangement. That's in short, that's what Coda means. But before I do that, I want to do a retrospective look on what this year has been for me, as well as Mars Luna. So we're sticking with Mars Luna here. I started off this year, at least the first 2 months or so, feeling creatively in a block. Um, I've been I was going through writer's block for at least the first 2 months of this year, and even the end of last year. I was just trying to find ways to really get some creativity going, try to find some motivation and inspiration and stuff like that. Um, but shout out to the homie of the podcast, Serge. He decided to um, reference me to the Shag Room, and I performed there for a couple months from middle of February to about August for a couple months, just kind of sharing some original music, all that kind of stuff. And I got to be a part of their finals one time, and it was a fun experience. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to continue going through a feedback, so that was really the gist of why I stopped. And also because Final Voyage dropped in August, I dropped Roller Coaster in February, the um, first Mars Luna Final Voyage single this year, um, as well as With You in April and Galileo in June. I kind of basically used the Shag Room to promote Final Voyage and the singles that I dropped. Um, and hold on real quick. Kainalu just said she offered for lunch since we were struggling to get good surf picks. She suggested $5 burgers and beer combo nearby where she lives. Nalu rarely drinks beer, only on certain occasions, and her actual birthday is tomorrow. Shout out to Nalu's honey girl one time. Let's go. See, he has more important things to do than be on this podcast today. But you know, but basically through the Shag Room, I had some opportunities. I got to meet a lot of people that were really cool, and I had an opportunity through uh, entertainment company Fire Entertainment to do some gigs and stuff. I really only did one gig in the summer of this year in July, where I basically had to do a cover gig. Um, it, it was a corporate gig basically, and Mars Luna going corporate wasn't something that I necessarily envisioned, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? And it was a cool experience, and I got some good footage out of that. Um, and then after that, Final Voyage dropped, and then I realized that everything like Mars Luna was essentially done at that point, and I just basically wanted to finish what I started. I dropped um, two radio singles after Final Voyage dropped for Together Forever and Other Side, uh, the alternate ending for Other Side, as well as two uh, basically two EPs, Captain's Log and Coda, that were basically old versions of Mars and Luna songs that never got to see the light of day till now. And and because I realized what the future would look like if I stayed in Vegas doing music, I realized that I was again entering a feedback loop that I wouldn't be able to escape from. So I stopped doing the buyer entertainment stuff. I stopped going to the shag room. Um, and after Final Voyage dropped, I told myself I wasn't going to perform anytime soon, or at least not perform the remainder of the year. And I got to really process some things, and I got to really navigate through some things in my life, and it'll lead towards what I'm doing next year. So now I'm gonna go into Coda, which is the very last Mars Luna project, very last Mars Luna EP. So let's get to it with the first song, which is Afraid. This version of Afraid is um, I basically sang the lyrics of the song Afraid, my song Afraid, through a beat that Scott created. Shout out to Scott Yago, friend of the pod, a couple years ago. And and this was during a period where Scott was basically sending beats through the group chat, and I was kind of singing along to each one. And the lyrics to Afraid, I've been finding demons every day. I'm so busy. I'm so busy looking for myself. Moving from the past hurts. Let me pull up the lyrics. I'm screwing this up right now so bad. Um, see, I've been finding demons every day. I'm so busy working on myself. Moving from the past hurts is crucial for growth. Am I worthy of being loved? It's just being afraid of not falling in love, but being vulnerable. Being afraid of being vulnerable, and knowing that you're putting your heart out there, and knowing that this thing that's been building up in my heart is really important to me, and I don't know how the other person's going to react. That's basically what Afraid is. And understanding that love has a lot of emotions and uh, a lot of situations at stake, right? So that's basically what Afraid is. And the original version, Afraid, was originally on my double single Icarus. And this version of Afraid is basically very acoustic sunrise friendly. It is it's very reggae island friendly. So that was kind of what Afraid was. This time, OG acoustic sunrise version, 2014. Afraid. By the way, before I talk about this time, Afraid reggae version, Perseverance version was in 2021. But anyway, back to this time. This time was I wrote the song back in 2014, and it ended up on New Orbit. But the version that's on Coda was basically extracted from a YouTube clip of when Kainalu came to visit me in Vegas back in 2014. We were jamming in the Circus room, because that's where Nalu and his family were staying at the time. And we recorded that video. And basically, that was like our memory from that trip. So that's what this time was. And the song this time is basically saying, like, I screwed up, I messed up, but this time I'm going to be better. It's a song about forgiveness, and a song about trying to win back the person that you love. So that's this time. And Till Death Do Us Part, Start the Fire 15. So Start the Fire is another New Orbit song that was written way back in 2015. And the original title for it was called Till Death Do Us Part. And Till Death Do Us Part, Start the Fire was basically written, um, it was inspired by a bunch of my friends at the time who were all getting married at the same time. And I wanted to, dedicate a love song for them. And shout out to them. They're all, except for one of them, all thriving in their relationships right now. But the main couple that I wrote this for actually broke up, and their wedding was the only wedding out of the group that I went to. So shout out to them. Hopefully they're doing better, in their single lives and stuff like that. But that's what Start the Fire, Until Death Do Us Part was about. Quintessential wedding song. Um, Do for Love, uh, OG version 2022. So this was the demo version of Do for Love that was used as a reference for the interlude, the New Orbit interlude, Do for Love in 2023. It came out that year. But I originally did all the demos for New Orbit back in 2022. And, it was the first project that I really wrote demos for. And Do for Love, or in this case, What Are You Gonna Do, was the original working title for it. Um, was one that it was a demo that I actually really liked. And basically there was a whole I told Holo and kind all of this when New Orbit came out because they really like Do for Love. There was a whole skit for it, for that Do for Love, for Undo for Love, that I scrapped for New Orbit. But in this version, the original demo has that skit. It's a very unhinged Mars Luna skit where he's basically conversing with me, saying that, like, I'm saying, like, hey man, like, you know, hopefully you're doing well in the Bahamas, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm in a better place now. And, Mars Luna, being the cosmic Casanova, is saying that he's proud of me and all that kind of stuff. And that everything's working out for me now. And basically, uh, that was basically the gist of the skit. It takes up a good bulk of the song, and go check it out. It's Mars Luna, um, at its finest. And Look Up to You. Used to. I used to look up to you. 2018. This was the original acoustic demo for 2018. Shout out to friend of the pod, Morgan Wright, because I Used to Look Up to You is a song on Final Voyage that basically has a trap beat um, attached to it, but I could never perform it uh, because the trap drums were just hard for regular drums to follow. But I kind of stripped it down into its and distilled it to its purest form, and it's basically saying that, like, it's a song talking to my dad. You know what I'm saying? And it's a song it's a song that reflects disappointment, and a song about, you know like, why did you do the things that you did? You know what I'm saying? And I used to look up to you. I'm disappointed that you weren't who I thought you were going to be. And that's basically what Look Up to You is about, or used to is about. So Coda, so if Captain's Log basically covered songs from Lost in Space and Dark Matter and all the surrounding orbital EPs that took, or Artress, you know what I'm saying? Then Coda has the same concept for all the later projects like The Orbit and Final Voyage. and Icarus. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bunch of songs, old versions of songs uh, that never got to see the light of day until now. And since this is the last episode of the year, and possibly the last episode of the ML Backstage podcast, I want to talk about the transition from Mars Luna into something new, because I haven't been Mars Luna ever since Final Voyage dropped, really, and ever since I, you know, shaved my head. I had green hair for the majority of the year, but once I shaved it off and went back to my regular black hair, um, I realized that those were the last remnants of Mars that I held on to, and now I'm transitioning into something new. So I want to talk about uh, what happened after the Fire Entertainment gig in July. So earlier this year, I mentioned that I went to visit Nashville um, back in May and in October this year, and I was trying to figure out what the next thing was for Mars Luna, because I couldn't really. I knew that Mars Luna was coming to an end, and I knew Vegas is, it's changing, and it's and all of this texting me during this pod here. Uh, but it's like, I really enjoyed it. Like, it really surpassed my expectations. I went to Nashville in May because last year was a stressful year last year, and it was a hard year for me and my family. And I just wanted to do something special for my mom, and at the same time also um, experience something new, and see and trying to basically satisfy my curiosity, if you will. And it it was just so green. It surpassed my expectations, and I signed up uh, spontaneously for Belmont tour. So I've heard about Belmont University through Billboard, actually. They had like their list of top music business schools, and Belmont was in the top 10 through 20. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe I'll check it out, whatever. And then, not really expecting a whole lot. Belmont, it was a beautiful campus, and they had a program that was really centered on what I wanted to do post Mars Luna, and I really considered it. So after May, I sat on that for like about 2 months, and then in July I did the Fire Entertainment gig. And shout out to them. It was cool, but it wasn't for me. And the next month, on um, August 19th, I submitted an application to go to Belmont, and 3 weeks later, on September 12th, I got accepted. So basically, moving to Nashville next year, I'm wearing I'm saying, my Belmont shirt. You feel me? Let's go Bruins one time. Um, and I'm really excited about it. And it's something new for me, and I needed to take a calculated risk that uh that springs me forward to the future that I want. And one thing that one of my friends told me about Nashville when he moved there several years ago, was that Las Vegas didn't have any infrastructure, and that was something that played in my head over and over and over again. But I tried to make it work in Vegas, and he told me and Morgan that back in 2017. And now this friend is, shout out to him. He's doing a lot better for himself now that he moved to Nashville, and now I'm going to be moving over there in in the summer of next year. and that is the next immediate post Mars Lunar. And I actually revealed this on the Unclassified podcast with Ali the Grand Finale months ago. Shout out to her. One time I mentioned this on the last episode. That was where I revealed for the first time that I'm in the general public that I'm head over to Belmont, but now I'm making this official here, ML Backstage podcast. That is the next move after Mars Luna, and I'm still gonna be making music. I'm still gonna be writing under under a different name, but yeah, that is the next move, and I'm looking forward to it. I actually, my mom's really excited about it. Friends are really, Polo and Nalu are really excited about it. Friends are all excited about it. Funny, I told my grandma today, about moving to Tennessee and going back to school, go to Belmont, and she was stressed. Ah. She, she was panicking. She was so stressed. But that's a typical, Filipino thing. It's a reaction that I expected, anticipated. She'll be fine, once she gets used to once she gets used to it. But what she had the same reaction when I moved from Kalihi here to Mililani back in 2008. And she had the same reaction when I moved from Mililani to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And now, uh, she had the same reaction to me moving to Nashville. You know what I'm saying? And she had the same reaction when my cousin moved from Hawaii to California. One of the things, that's really cool about my grandma is that uh, she wants everybody together. Like family to her means that everybody's together and everybody is, coexisting, right? But here's the thing that, she doesn't realize, it's more of a generational thing. It's, being together is an illusion and a pipe dream if the family's fractured and everyone has to grow in their own ways, and it's more a grasp of control more than like, oh, I don't want you doing this type of thing. It's a very, very Filipino coded way of expressing that love. And I'm grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but people got to spread their wings. And, my grandma immigrated from the Philippines to Hawaii for the chance of a better life. And I told her that it's basically the same thing. People their move from wherever they're from because they want to grow and they want to, you know, pursue a better life for themselves. And me moving from Vegas to Tennessee is no different. I've been in Vegas for 12 years, and 12 years in Las Vegas is an eternity. It's a really long time. But in a city that keeps on changing, Vegas needs to reinvent itself in order to survive. And the way that Vegas was growing is not growing in a way that's really palatable for me and my growth anymore. So I had to find something that was different and better for me. Nothing more, nothing less than that. And Vegas will always have a special place in my heart, but I'm excited for new things coming next year. And I have a feeling the next year is going to be really, really special. Um, so so every episode, uh, the meat of every episode consists of a question that centers around the the project, single, EP, LP's theme. Um, whether it's a general question, a fun question, a philosophical question, and all that stuff. And it covers, it centers itself around the EP or the project or the single or the feature that or special guests that I have on. And a lot and this and the main topic that I want to cover today revolves around detachment because I've been in a state of detachment for a couple months now. Ever since Mars Luna ended, I realized that I've been in a state of detachment because everything in my life is changed right in front of me, right? And in order for me to, it's a mechanism, right? So in order for me to relax and to not be stressed about the future or even the present, right? I needed to be, I needed to learn how to be detached from the outcome and only focus on the things that I can control and be focused on the things that I need to focus on, right? So, um, I guess the main question that I have is, does detachment help with your mental state? And I'm asking you who's listening and watching, does detachment help with your mental state? For me, for me, it does. As an existential, introspective person, it does because it means that I'm not tripping about things that don't work out, or I'm not tripping about things that um um things that I'm planning. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping about visions that aren't mine. I'm not tripping about um you know I'm not tripping about whether things things work out the way that I want to. You know what I'm saying? It leaves me, it gives me room to be open to better outcomes than things that I, that I hope for. You know what I mean? It gives me it gives me opportunities to be open to outcomes that I might not have imagined. You know what I mean? And um, that's how detachment helps with my mental state. It 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 frees me from stress too. So that's how detachment has helped me. And the second detachment question is, how do you detach from people or things that you love? Sometimes you got to stare reality in the face. You know what I'm saying? And part of it for me is I try to be discerning. I try to be objective and observant as much as I can. And basically, like, if I know, I I try to focus on the present, but also try to really see what's ahead. You know, try to, expand the telescope a little bit, and basically, um, I guess I can detach from people or things that I love when I realize that there's no room for growth anymore. If it means that I'm going to keep doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting a different result, like Einstein said. And that's the worst fear, right? The worst fear is knowing that, okay, I'm still here, I'm very comfortable, but it's not shaking no more. You know what I mean? And it requires a lot of self-awareness and a lot of being honest with myself and, you know, assessing whether the path I'm on is the path that I want to go in, or um, the path that, leads to fulfillment or whatever, right? And I realized that in Vegas this year that the path for Mars Luna wasn't the path I wanted to be on. And in order for me to make music in Vegas, it wasn't even a good enough foundation for me to keep going. And sometimes um sometimes in life it's better to start over than to keep going. And that's where I ended up at. That's how I stopped with the Mars Luna stuff. That's how I ended up choosing Belmont and Tennessee. And next year in 2026 is going to be the most transformative year of my life. And I don't say that, because I'm manifesting it. I'm saying it because it actually is going to be the most transformative year that for Joshua Luna. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to be moving to a city where I've uh, I've only been to twice, and I'm trying to familiarize myself with it, every day. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Like it's all dawning on me as I'm speaking in front of this camera right now. And I'm excited for what's to come. I'm not, promising anything, but I know that I'll give myself the best possible opportunity if I put my best foot forward. So, um, yeah, thank you. It's episode 57. Thank you so much to everyone who's listened to these ML Backstage episodes. It's really meant a lot to me. It's really meant a lot to Holo, meant a lot to Nalu. Um, I can't believe we've done 4 years, close to five of doing this, and it doesn't even feel like it's been that long. And I'll it feels weird that this is the last episode of the year and possibly the last episode, but I want to continue to um, I want to continue to keep doing this. Um, Even though I'm not going to be making Mars Luna songs, you know what I'm saying? There's still I I want to make the transition public, you know what I'm saying? And it already is public, but I want to bring y'all along with me as I transition into Nashville. So uh, basically, what the deal is I'm not going to announce if there's another episode next month, but if there is a new episode, you'll know. Saying I'll just I'll just release it if there's a new episode next month. Uh, but regardless, I'm very excited about the future. Um, I'm very much at peace with the present and the past in regards to Mars Luna. And, it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun odyssey, but it's an odyssey that had to end. And it's an odyssey that has meant a lot to me. But, like what Holo said, he always says this, with every ending, there's a new beginning. And beginnings always come with an ending. So, once again, thank you so much to everyone who's watched and listened to ML Backstage podcast episodes. Um, I have no music plugs, but I do have one more newsletter um, coming out this month. Uh, you check out itsmarsluna.com. Um, you can still follow, um, Mars Luna on Spotify, Apple Music. The music will be there forever. You can follow, Mars Luna on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I was gonna say TikTok, but Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, at Mars Luna. I'm not gonna delete the Mars Luna social media pages, but you can follow me at Luna B Joshua. I'm gonna segue everything to my own personal account for next year. Um, before I you know before I figure out what musical direction to go in next when I'm in Belmont. So um, for Belmont, I will be majoring in music business and business administration. and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm excited for the people that I'll get to meet, the experiences that I'll get to have, and it's just all things new, man. New year, new Josh, new Luna. You know what I'm saying? And and the newness has substance this time. And as Mars Luna likes to say, embrace your odyssey, embrace the strange. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the episode. Thank you.
Ethan, ML Backstage can't end like this. This podcast has been too much fun.
Honestly, I'm ready to go home.
Alright, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the ML Backstage podcast. If you liked what you heard, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to us on Apple and YouTube at ML Backstage. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Mars Luna. You can find all my music on Spotify and Apple Music and on my website at itsmarsluna.com. Stream Coda on all the streaming platforms. Thank you sincerely for listening to my music and watching all of these ML Backstage episodes. I don't know what's going to happen next month, but if Joshua decides to post a new episode, there will be a new episode in January. Until then, from Ethan and myself, embrace your odyssey and embrace the strange. Bye!